Hey gang, welcome back to Hey Bill, what day is it? You know, we've been hanging around together here for several months now, and I could use your help by subscribing to my channel. I've placed a small YouTube logo down in the lower right hand corner of the screen there, and you can use it to subscribe. Just click on it and you'll be subscribed. Now, this week is for all of you out there who have dreamed of soaring into the sky all on your own. May 26 is National Paper Airplane Day. Sure, we now have the ability to buy a ticket and fly anywhere in the world, but that doesn't really provide the exhilaration we're looking for. Airline travel is more like getting crammed into a small meeting room with a bunch of people you don't know or really even care about. No, the thrill of aviation involves the senses and the imagination of a child. The freedom of launching off into the wild blue yonder is addictive. I can remember when I earned my private pilot's license and the thrill of my first solo flight, when the instructor crawled out of the plane and told me to go fly around and try to come back alive. It was both exhilarating and terrifying. I knew there was no way I could survive this experience, but I had to do it. Well, as you can see, I did survive it and have seen the world differently ever since. But that's the world of aviation for the wealthy hobbyist. Not many of us can afford to buy or maintain a flying machine for very long, so we have to rely on a far less expensive alternative. Building and flying paper airplanes can supply at least a part of this excitement. Even small children understand the wonder of flight and instinctively fold sheets of paper into viable flying machines to throw and observe, much to the chagrin of their teachers. This has been going on since shortly after the invention of paper around 500 BC. But we mustn't belittle the use of paper in pursuit of real aviation. Leonardo da Vinci was known to have proposed the use of parchment in plans for models of his flying creations. The Wright brothers were famous for studying paper airplanes in their quest for powered flight. So something as humble and simple as a paper airplane has contributed much to the development of air travel as we know it today. This would be an entirely different world were it not for the marvels of modern aviation. But what does this mean for us today on Paper Airplane Day? Well, they're just plain fun. Plain fun. Get it? Children and adults alike can enjoy making and playing with paper airplanes. There's something magical in being able to make a piece of paper fly through the air, mimicking that of a real airplane. It's a fun and enjoyable way to acknowledge all the amazing aspects an airplane has to offer, and a chance to come together to celebrate this impressive invention. The act of flying a paper airplane is stimulating, pleasurable, and inexpensive way to keep entertained. A simple ream of copy paper can supply weeks of fun. Some people have said that Wilbur and Orville Wright's achievements weren't that impressive, at least when it comes to creating a craft that can fly. Okay, so it definitely wasn't the same thing as their amazing machine and the impressive changes it made to the world, but the fundamental concepts may have been developed in the humble medium that is the paper plane. Because of their work, we now have aircraft whose wingspan is longer than their first flight. We're not sure just how old the concept of paper airplanes is, but it probably dates back to the Asian art form of origami, which employs the techniques of precise paper folding. During World War II, paper airplanes became even more popular to many. Due to rationing, it wasn't feasible to make toys from plastic or metal. However, paper was a widely available resource which children could use to make their own toys. A man named Wallace Rigby designed some of the most sought-after paper planes during this time. He was an Englishman who moved to the United States during the 30s. Wallace took his liking to paper airplanes seriously and published his planes and models as books or box sets. He was even kind enough to print some of them in the Sunday newspaper in the comic section for all to experience. There was a shortage of ink at the time, which led to some strange color schemes. Even today, his designs had that tab and slot construction. They're prized collector's items. So while we may have thought of them as little more than simple toys and ways to annoy our teachers, They've actually played a vital role in one of the most important inventions in the transportation industry, the plane. They're still around for good reason and continue to play a part in people's lives today, both in the paper form and as a machine with the ability to transport people and cargo from one location to the next. One could even say that ultimately paper planes put us on the moon. Celebrating Paper Airplane Day is simple and fun, and an activity that anyone can participate in, no matter their age or skill level. Just pick up a piece of paper and fold it into one of many paper airplane shapes and give it a toss. Challenge friends and family to see who can make the most remarkable paper airplane that can stay in the air the longest or go the farthest. Attempting to fold the perfect plane can be tricky, and it will take time and patience. Looking for something a bit more challenging? The typical wedge-shaped airplane is just the simplest form. There are books, clubs, and hobbyists who all engage in the pastime of creating complex paper airplanes that can reach amazing distances with surprising stability. Use this as a chance to read up on the subject matter and see what new creations emerge from putting some thought into the process. It may also be fun and enjoyable to perform research and practice folding and making the perfect paper airplane. There are a lot of tips and tricks to learn about that will help anyone increase their ability to build a paper airplane that will look remarkable and fly great distances. There are a lot of websites that you can go to for instructions on building paper airplanes or even hold paper airplane parties. There are even pre-printed collections that you can buy to get you started. I've included links to some of these in the show notes below, or click on the card above to go check them out. There are contests to enter and opponents you can take on to see who can fold the best paper plane. In fact, there are Star Wars fans from all over the world who try to replicate their favorite spacecraft from the franchise in paper. If you really get serious about this hobby, there's even a Guinness World Record you can try to beat in your free time. So don't miss out on the opportunity to gather with friends and see who can be the most creative when it comes to folding paper into unique shapes that mimic the airplane. Paper Airplane Day is a chance to demonstrate to yourself that you truly can create the best paper plane ever. The Bible uses references to flight when it talks about the power and strength that God provides to his people. Life is difficult, we all know that, but we can get great encouragement from the promises God gave in the Old Testament. In the book of Isaiah, it says, "He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." Even as the trials and tribulations fall upon us daily, we can rely on the vision provided to us here in this passage. I particularly like the imagery of soaring like eagles. With God's provision, we can rise above the fatigue and weakness that we experience in this lifetime. Eagles rid themselves of attacking birds that land on their backs and peck at their heads by flying higher and higher until the air is too thin for his attackers and they simply fall away. The eagle doesn't fight them. He just rises above their feeble hold on him. We need to do that today and claim the awesome power that God promises to those whose hope is in the Lord, to simply soar above our problems. We've got two choices. We can continue to get better at soaring, like this, or we can give up. I know what my choice is going to be. I'm Bill Wasore, and this is Hey Bill, What Day Is It? Now get out there and fold up some paper airplanes and see how high and far you can go. And have a triumphant day.